Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So we are fast approaching 2023. It's like in under a week. Every year goes by faster and time just like doesn't slow down. I say this all the time, but genuinely it just really doesn't slow down. I have recently been thinking about ways in which I can personally improve my mental health in 2023. And so I thought, why not talk about how we can hopefully do this before 2023, but with each of them I'm going to suggest a way in which we can then carry this forwards and make it like more of a routine, so it's not just like a one-off thing that we're doing. Yes, we can hopefully set these in motion before the new year, but then we can continue doing them throughout the new year and for as long as you want to afterwards. We all have mental health, right? And I think it's so important that we work to protect our mental health. Obviously we all have good days and bad days, we all have our own individual struggles. If we can like build routines and habits that kind of help to, you know, support our mental health and keep it as strong, positive and just like uplifted as possible. So yeah, I hope this video is useful. Definitely like it if you do enjoy it. Comment down below if you have any other tips and suggestions to share, and obviously subscribe if you want to stick around and hit the bell so you know when I upload. And we will dive straight into the video without me waffling for any longer. So the first thing is to basically take a full day off social media before the new year, and then going forwards you could say do this every week or every month. Like take one day off all social media platforms, so like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whichever platforms you kind of use. I don't really consider YouTube social media, but if you want to abstain from YouTube as well, that's also fine. Often we get trapped in our little bubbles and we don't even like care for our own lives. Like we're worrying more about them than ourselves, and so I think it's really important to just remind ourselves that yes, a lot is on social media, but like your life is offline. Like that is you and who you are, and you need to remember that you come first. Just stop, take a step back and do stuff for yourself, think for yourself, don't compare yourself to anyone online. And as I said, if you do this regularly, I think you'll find it then easier to detach from these platforms, and I definitely think it will remind you of like what life actually is. The second thing then that I would suggest doing before the new year is to find a way in which you can be creative that is ideally, again, not using a screen. I have recently had this urge to like crochet or like knit, but more so crochet, because I used to love doing that. Like when I was in school I did art textiles and I honestly loved it. I loved like really fine hand embroidery and crochet, and so I think if you find something that you really love and that allows you to express your creativity, whether that be through, as I said, like crocheting, knitting or painting, drawing, playing musical instruments, singing, dancing, like whatever you feel is you and allows you to express yourself in a creative way that, as I said, is off the screen as well. I just think we should all try and do that before the new year. And then going into the new year, I think it would be good and really fun to like set yourself small goals or projects related to that. A little summer crochet top, like that could be my project right for the start of the new year. It doesn't have to be like super strict. No one's gonna sit there and be like, you have to do this, otherwise you're fired or you lose your job or whatever. Like it's not that deep, but like you set yourself a little goal, and so when you do achieve that you feel accomplished, and you know you can hopefully then do something else. When we're on our screen so much, and sometimes when we're so fixated on like work and our usual routines, I think sometimes it's nice to like step away from that and just like be creative, because that does wonders for your mind and your mental health. Like when I just sit down and say doodle in my bullet journal or just draw, like I don't know, I just transform myself to a whole other world, doing something just for the sake of doing something because it is fun. The third thing to do before the new year, hopefully, is kind of related to the second point, but it's basically to just simply sit down, and again, without a screen, I want you to put your phone aside, put your MacBook or computer somewhere else. Just take the time to simply write something. Get a pen or a pencil, whatever you write with, and a book, a notepad, a piece of paper, like whatever it is, just sit down and write. And the reason why I say this is because I just think when you write instead of like typing things all the time, it slows down time so dramatically, and like your hand will probably ache, okay, if you haven't written in a long time. And it's so crazy sometimes because when you're typing, like your brain is working really fast and then your fingers are also typing really quickly, and they kind of like match each other. But then when you write stuff, your brain is working so quickly and you want to write down loads, but your hand can't simply write that fast. And so it just means that you have to process things more deeply and more thoroughly. Taking this forwards, you could say have a little writing routine or a journaling routine where you do it maybe, I don't know, every day or every week, every few days, however often you want to. Try journaling first of all, but you could instead just like write a poem or a story, describe what you're seeing in front of you. I don't know, write anything you want to. It doesn't have to be journaling. That's just the thing that first comes to mind when we talk about this stuff in mental health. It could be a letter to your past self, your future self. Write something to a person who means a lot to you in your life, a family member. Write a letter to a loved one, someone you have a crush on. I don't know, get creative, think deeply, and just simply write. Like, that is the main point of this one. Just grab a pen or a pencil and write something. Number 4 is something I have mentioned before in my Vlogmas episode where I talked about getting out of a rut. I really did try and emphasize the importance of spending time in nature and outdoors. Be outdoors at least once before 2023. Now for me, I try and go outdoors every single day. Like, I just love fresh air and I just feel trapped if I'm stuck indoors. And I mean, sometimes there are those days, but I really do prioritize that. Even if it means just standing outside or opening your window, just try and get a good amount of fresh air before the new year. I think the way in which you can obviously build this into a routine, like I said, I do this every day because I like run most days and walking and stuff like that. But if you struggle to say like get out on a walk most days and you want to kind of do that, I would suggest like maybe setting a time every single day when you go outside. And you could also say to yourself that you're only going to listen to podcasts or like a certain podcast when you go outside and go on a walk. Like, that is a way in which you could get yourself outdoors. Like, walking is a great way to also move your body, which is great for your mental health as well. So yeah, combining fresh air and walking is just like a perfect combination. Also then with going on walks, I try and take those as breaks. Like, sometimes when I am so busy and full on, I will be going on my walk and I will be doing emails on my walk, but ideally my walk is like my me time, and again, it's time for me to like switch off completely and take a break and not be stuck on a screen. The 5th thing I would suggest doing is basically to work out ways in which you can use your phone in particular differently. A lot of us, I assume, if you use social media, like we use our phones for those apps, right? Like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, we use our phones for social media. And so what I've basically been doing recently, and I haven't created like a physical list, but you can write these things down, but try and find as many ways as possible to use your phone other than using it for social media. The thing that I'm trying to get at with this is like, when you use your phone, like I often have habits, like, and I know where apps are, and if I unlock my phone, I go immediately to say Instagram or like a particular app. But like, if you can use that time, the time that you would spend on social media apps, on something different on your phone, then it means that you're not immediately like saying you can't go on your phone and you're cutting it out entirely, which can be really, really difficult to do. You can literally like use your phone in a different way. I've said to myself recently that instead of going on Instagram, say, I could sort out my camera roll, which I really don't like doing, but I really need to sort it out, as I've spoken about before. Like, it's very overcrowded and full, and I need to organize my photos and videos to cut down on them. But like, instead of using Instagram, I could do that instead. Organize your notes or something. You could journal, say, on your phone, on your notes, or like using Notion, for example. You could be like editing some photos, for example, just getting creative in that way. You could, I don't know, try editing videos on your phone, like download an app to do that. What else do I have on my phone? Oh yeah, you could like post something on Depop or eBay or Vinted, for example, like sell something, because I have those apps on my phone. Try and challenge yourself to write down or come up with as many ways to use your phone in a different way. Definitely do this before 2023, but then try and make it a habit, as I said, in the new year. The worst thing for me, as I've said before, is when I just end up like scrolling mindlessly and unnecessarily because I'm on those social media apps. Like, I really don't like that, and I just feel trapped at that point because I just don't know what my brain wants. But if you can have other ways to use your phone, if you find yourself in that situation, you can just close that application or like log out entirely and go to do something else. So you're still kind of maybe using your phone, but you're eventually gonna stop doing that when you kind of get tired of sorting through your camera roll, and then you can move on to doing something off your phone screen entirely. Number 6 then is to basically set and know your boundaries. And I think you should write these out and kind of maybe go forwards, like constantly reminding yourselves of these boundaries. If you know your boundaries, then you won't let others like walk all over you, and you will be able to speak up when you need to say something to basically, you know, preserve that boundary. Like you need to say no when you want to say no. You need to turn down things when you don't feel up to it. You need to like be able to call your friends out or family members out, say when they say something that's not right. I do often struggle to, you know, set my own boundaries, and I am, yes, someone who will let others walk all over me. I do have quite like a trusting, it's not the right way to put it, like I'm also someone who will trust other people quite easily. I didn't really know this about myself until like recently, but I do trust people quite easily, and sometimes I trust people too soon and I should be a bit more cautious, and I don't like therefore properly enforce my boundaries, or I don't even know my boundaries, so I don't know where I stand. And then at the same time, I sometimes struggle to like speak up when I need to, or say when things are bothering me or things have triggered me. So I think by firstly writing out your boundaries, you can visually see them and just like remind yourself of them. Obviously sometimes you can be worried that things come across in the wrong way, but it's literally just you protecting yourself. And in you protecting yourself, you're going to protect others. So for example, one boundary could be that, you know, you kind of don't want to drink with your friends and you want to let them know that you're not going to drink. So you just need to tell them that so that they don't like offer you drinks or kind of like buy you stuff when you don't want that. And similarly, like you need to just be able to say no to things that you don't want to do. But yeah, that is the 6th one, to know your boundaries and like keep those boundaries in place. The penultimate one then, number 7, is to basically do some decluttering. Now in, again, one of my Vlogmas episodes, I basically did a load of organization before the new year. So I cleaned my room, I organized my desk and my drawers. And I think if you do some decluttering before the new year, then it will just help to declutter your mind as well. Like if you have a clean and open space in which you live and you work and you sleep and everything, you will feel so much more at ease and like peaceful in your own mind and your headspace. And then going forwards, try and make it a routine. I don't know, to tidy your room every week or every month and to do some cleaning regularly. I am holding my pen, yes. But that can also mean digital decluttering, like declutter and organize your phone or your Mac, like declutter your physical space and also your digital space, because obviously if you do a lot of work online, which a lot of us do these days, then it's important to consider like both of them. The final thing, number 8 then, to do for your mental health before 2023 is to basically set your kind of daily or weekly non-negotiable tasks. Again, I would suggest writing this out and write out whether you want to do these things every day or every week. And you could also say every month, but I had in mind that these things would be those that you do quite regularly and for yourself. And these will vary for all of us, and they can kind of be related to any aspect of your life. Like it could even be work related stuff, non-work related stuff, literally anything, but the things that you want to do every single day. And I think having these things that you do every day or every week kind of helps ground ourselves, because I think having this sense of routine and familiarity is really, really important, especially for me. Like if I've done these small, simple things every day, like I'll feel accomplished in myself. So for me, for example, and I've done this for ages, I want to come up with like new things, of course, but like I stretch every single day. Like that's a non-negotiable for me. It's so ingrained in me that I just feel weird without doing it. I find comfort in doing that every day and having kind of like mentally take that off in my head, like I've done my stretching for the day. It could be the classic things for your well-being and your mental health, like, you know, meditation or journaling or like yoga, for example, but like make them specific and tailored to you and try and make it really attainable. Like don't create something really, really crazy to do every single day that you've never done before and that you don't know how it affects you. Try and think of the things that make you feel really good in yourself. So those are my 8 things for your mental health that you can do hopefully before the new year, but you can keep them going forwards if you integrate them into a routine. Obviously there are like the classic staple things that we have to do for our health and mental health, like, you know, sleeping, eating, drinking water and stuff like that. And obviously I will remind you of those things. But I've just recently been thinking of other ways and other things that I know help my mental health, and I can kind of formalize this and recognize them. So hopefully we can have like the best year ahead of us for not only our mental health but like everything else going on in our lives. Another huge shout out to anyone who did follow along my vlogmas from this year. I honestly love doing it. I did like 20 videos in 20 days, which was so good. I didn't miss an upload day, which was my only goal with vlogmas this year. But yeah, that's basically everything from me, and as always I'll speak to you very soon in another video. Bye. It almost feels like my phone is an addiction, when sometimes I guess maybe it is. Wee. Yes. Number 6 then is to basically set and hello. See, I'm being distracted by my phone. This lighting is good today. Oh my god, that's me burping. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just done that one. Oh yeah.